Hi and welcome to the fifth section in which we will look at continuous improvement for existing solutions. So we'll move on to our first video, which is EBS volume performance. Now let's look at the different EBS volume types and what are the different performance metrics that they give you. So first we have general purpose SSD. So this EBS volume type is good for most workloads. It's good to use this when you're hosting your workloads in development or test environments. The maximum IOPS per volume is 16,000. The maximum IOPS per instance is 80,000. And the maximum throughput per volume is 250 megabytes per second. So you would normally use general purpose SSD for general workloads. If you have a web server that needs to be hosted in a development or test environment, you can go ahead and create a general purpose SSD volume. Now next we have provision IOPS. This is used for high performance workloads. Generally, if you have workloads in production environments, then you would consider using provision IOPS. The maximum IOPS per volume is 64,000. The maximum IOPS per instance is 80,000. And the maximum throughput per volume is 1000 megabytes per second. So if you are looking at, let's say, hosting a database workload in a production environment which has a high number of reads and writes, then you should consider the underlying EBS volume type to be provision IOPS. Then we have throughput optimized HDD. So this is used when you have streaming workloads. For example, if you're hosting big data or data warehouses in AWS on your EC2 instances, then you can consider using the volume of throughput optimized HDD. The maximum IOPS per volume is 500. The maximum IOPS per instance is 80,000. And the maximum throughput per volume is 500 megabytes per second. And finally, we have cold HDD. So this is used for less frequently accessed workloads. This is mainly used if you have archive storage. The maximum IOPS per volume is 250. The maximum IOPS per instance is 80,000. And the maximum throughput per volume is 250 megabytes per second. So depending upon what host, ensure that you use. So depending upon the workload that you want to host, ensure that you choose the correct EBS volume type.